At Branzome Fire Station, they're expecting to be busy. But watch manager Dave Collingwood has other things on his mind.
Come in early and put the chilli on, so I've done it early tonight. Normally we cook it on a night when we're on duty, but we're coming early especially because we will be busy. So it's on, we'll see what time we get it.
In the run-up to Guy Fawkes Night, Humberside Fire and Rescue embarked on a massive campaign to reduce the number of nuisance bonfires by removing wood and rubbish from public areas. It won't be until the end of the evening that Control will know whether the initiative has been a success. But one thing's certain, tonight will be a busy night for firefighters everywhere.
The Oval, 16th Ave, bonfire.
Firefighters at Hull Central are also expecting to be busy with bonfire calls.
Well, there's various stages.
Watch manager Dave Bristow gives Matty and the rest of the crew tonight's briefing. However, they're about to receive a 999 call.
Fire rescue service. There's a house on fire. Definitely on fire. Oh, okay, the fire engine's all on the way.
Crack on with the HP tests.
Till 3 going Strappy. We'll put our beer on as soon as we know it's a house fire or fire alarm. And any chance of actually being a job.
Residents on Branzome Estate are worried a bonfire is much too close to their property. Dave agrees.
Well, it's just a little bonfire. Apparently, they've had complaints, so it's gone out. Not a problem. If people are complaining, that's fair enough. Well, I just live across the road where all smoke's going into my house now, which is marvellous.
Matty and the team from Hull Central have arrived at their emergency, a fire in a conservatory. But there's little work left to do, as neighbours took matters into their own hands.
And we sat there going, look at all the smoke coming from the chimney, and then I went, they ain't got chimneys. So we came through the trees and went, it's on fire.
The cause was never fully decided, but the fire investigators do know it started in a wooden drawer full of small electrical items. Had anyone been asleep in bed, things could have been much worse.
You can just imagine yourself, can't you? You know, you come home from maybe being on a night out and find your house or your home in a state like that. It's soul destroying, really. Unfortunately, these things happen.
Although the damage is extensive, the news that their dogs are safe will be a comfort to the owners. The Branzome Watch have been rushed off their feet, dealing with fire call after fire call. It's been 2 hours since they last returned to base, and before they do, they need to refill the engine's 300-gallon tank.
Needles and all sorts in them now, people just shove it in from the cannon. The odd rat now and again as well, that pops out.
The guys still haven't eaten. Will they ever taste Dave's homemade chili?
Well, I'm checking spuds. A little overdone. Let's sure get food poisoning.
So what happens if you get a cold there?
That right, she used to have a chanagram. You just found out. That's your fault.
While Dave's not had time to stop and eat, 25 miles south at Scunthorpe Fire Station, Rob is having one of the quietest Guy Fawkes night on record.
It's just dead. Some nights you get there, that are really quiet, and then you can be up all night and you can't wait to get to bed. I don't mind being quiet tonight. Sometimes, you know, the day just drags all night. You know, nights just drag out when it's quiet. You know, I like being busy.
Get off my fucking bench, little bastards!
Gareth's called 999 because his dog is frightened. There's noise coming from a nearby bonfire, and he wants Dave to put it out.
The dog can't go in the garden because all these idiots fucking making the noise and firing, stinking my house out. That's what's pissing me off. It was in the garden, and they started lighting that, that's why I rang you. It's the smallest bonfire by standards that are going to be tonight.
It's a difficult one to call. Putting the fire out could ignite more animosity between the two groups.
When they start giving you abuse and that, it's just does your head in really.
Rob's had a quiet night, but it's about to get busy. There's been a road traffic accident and 4 people are trapped.
There's 4 people trapped in the car. You don't know how many paramedics are there, so I mean, when we turn up straight away, we might be doing first aid.
We always put surgical gloves on. Because you can guarantee if there's someone trapped in a car, they're going to be covered in blood.
The car's on its side. All the 4 occupants are still in the vehicle. The paramedics are there now, just making sure they're all right.
Before the crew can rescue the 4 young men inside, they have to make sure the car won't roll over. Incredibly, everyone's conscious and apparently unharmed.
Alpha 3-3 in. Can you? Roger XTR. Bravo 1-3 in.
This year's campaign to prevent nuisance bonfires seems to have paid off. At Fire Control, Watch Manager Jan Hayton has noticed a reduction in the number of bonfire-related calls.
We weren't as busy as we thought we would be, but we still had, it was constant from coming on at 5:30, 6 o'clock, it was constant till gone midnight.
So there's still much to do before November the 5th is no longer their busiest night of the year. Rob and the team have made good progress in making the car safe. They're now able to release the 4 occupants and pass them into the care of waiting paramedics.
As soon as they get out the car, they're going to put them on a spine board in case they've got any neck injuries or anything like that. Paramedics are going to check them over, but they've got to do it one at a time because they might think they're not injured, but often you get someone that will come out and find out he has actually got an injury or something.
You get to some and you just don't know how they've managed to walk out of them.
They're lucky though, they're all very lucky. Because initially we thought one was trapped underneath, but they all walked out, so I don't know how they managed it.
Right, back to bed.
Over in Hull, Dave and the rest of the Brandzone Watch are finally settling down. Fire and rescue crews from Hull Central Station are heading north towards Beverley.
Beverley turn off.
There's been a major crash. Fire crews are already there, and the report is at least 2 people have died.
Left of you, Kev.
There's no medics here, I'll get the bag.
At the other side of Beverley, Senior Fire Officer Nick Granger is also on his way.
We're hitting peak rush hour traffic at the moment, which doesn't help. This is a particularly difficult road anyway. This is the road that we attend a great deal of RTAs on. The important thing that we get there to help them rather than crash en route.
The fire crews with specialist cutting equipment are just minutes away. There's a 4-mile jam, and impatient drivers are causing real problems. This has been the worst road accident so far this year. 3 people are dead and 2 others injured. The firefighters need to make the area safe and help recover the injured and the deceased from the wreckage.
I have to say, whenever I'm driving to an incident in this area, the first thing that comes to mind, because I live within a vicinity of here, is that it's not my wife who's involved or my son who's involved, both of whom drive. Unfortunately, try as you might, you do equate to your own family whenever you're at a scene like this.
The work of a firefighter has changed dramatically. And at Fire HQ in Hessel, Nick's statistics explain why.
We went to 10 fire deaths in 2003 within the area of this service. We went to 35 deaths involving road traffic accidents. Of course, in reality, an awful lot more people than that died in those incidents. You know, we lost a lot more than 35 people, but those were 35 people that we went to and cut out.
So the combined figure across East Yorkshire, North East Lincolnshire, which includes road deaths where the fire service didn't attend, is 60 in 2003 and 55 in 2004.
What none of us realise is the point in our lives, for any of us, at which we are most at risk, is the point when we put the ignition key into the barrel of the ignition. That is when we are most at risk, the point when we're on the road. We're more likely to die at that moment than at any other in our lives.
Humberside Fire and Rescue Service have 2 strategically stationed rescue support units, or RSUs. They're kitted out with lifting and cutting equipment, and whenever there's a serious road accident, the RSU is mobilised.
But we just received a message that there's a guy trapped between the car and a telegraph pole. The car's gone into a ditch and it's gone on top of him.
Paddy and the team from Hull Central are travelling west to Goole. They've been on the road for nearly 30 minutes and the fire crews already there need assistance. There's serious concern about the driver's injuries. He's jammed upside down between a telegraph pole and the roof of his car. The vehicle is unstable and could topple over and crush him.
Worried that when we chop this post away to get him out, what we're worried about, we don't know what's going to happen to the car. We've got a load of chops.
Watch manager Nick Borman from Goole Fire Station is briefing the rescue support unit team from Hull Central, led by Tash.
You mean to hold the whole vehicle, suspend the whole vehicle where it is?
We want to keep the vehicle where it is so that when we chop this away, the vehicle is not going to move.
Yeah, we're going to need some macros on that bottom side.
Just the slightest movement could cause further injury. The acros, or scaffolding poles, may not be enough to stop the car from rolling. To make matters worse, the ditch is full of mud and ice. Tash has another plan.
You know we've got massive big airbags.
Airbags then, yeah?
They might be better.
Right,
They're
use them then.
about this high.
Yeah. Whatever's good for you.
We can get them underneath the roof, can't we?
Whatever's good for, if that's better, then use that.
Yeah,
we want this car not to move at all.
Yeah. Well, basically, we're just trying to stabilise the car. So we're not quite sure when we cut the B post at the other side what's going to happen to the car. So if we sort of stabilise it with the airbags at the back and then these 2 acros on the sills, hopefully that'll stabilise it enough for us to cut that full sort of post out of the opposite side. Then we can slide him sideways. It gives the lads more room inside. Yeah, mate.
The icy roads are keeping crews busy this morning.
RTA Parsons, Patrington, Witherington.
Patrington.
Hull Central take their second call to a car crash in as many hours.
South of Mall, Witherington side of Patrington.
Matty, Chris and the team now have a 15-mile dash through treacherous conditions.
A lot of the time, it could be a really serious RTA. The initial crew, the retain crew turning up, they can deal with it initially, but they often need specialist cutting gear, which is what we carry on the RSU.
Just getting information through one female trapped.
40 miles away near Goole, Tash and the other crew from Hull Central have placed airbags and steel supports underneath the car. Now they must cut the car apart bit by bit to free the man from the wreckage.
We're going to cut this post out now, and then we'll be able to slide him sideways. This bag now's got it quite nicely. I don't know whether you saw it, just took up the spring of the car then.
As the airbags take the car's weight, the pressure on the man trapped inside eases. Incredibly, he's now able to move his legs. But does he have the strength to wiggle his way free?
Seatbelt cutter, anyone? Seatbelt cutter.
Wait there, Yop.
It's on his back in a minute. Oh, it's coming. It's on his way.
Yop, wait there.
Between the two.
The driver was checked over at hospital and suffered no serious injuries. Amongst the firefighters, there's utter disbelief.
There's actually traps in there. So you can see there's no room at all.
That guy's just been slid up there tonight. He wants to do the lottery. There's a post and the B post, and he was wedged between those two. Lucky man, lucky man.
At the petrol station, through Thorn, through Kingham, through Pat.
It's a real long, fast, straight road, so it could be a bad.
The other team from Hull Central is just a mile away from where a woman is trapped in her car. The local fire crews at the incident are radioing through to fire control.
Female casualty released using manipulation. Stop what?
Just getting some information back now. They've got the female casualty out of the vehicle now. We've been to some particularly nasty RTAs recently that wasted a lot of young life, you know, and a lot of fatal